Hi guys, welcome to PB Shifu. Today I borrowed this from Cisco of Rocking PB Productions, and we have the Drift Ghost here. With the new HD Ghost, they upgraded the packaging. It used to come in a cardboard box, so they made it prettier in this sense. So we're gonna do a little unboxing video, and this is 1080p. Some of the highlights of this are that it actually records at much higher frame rates than the original Drift HD. I believe that's correct, right? Yeah, whatever. All right, so we're gonna open this thing up. Isn't that cool? So in the box you get your HD Ghost, and this is the remote. Do a little comparison of the remote. It is a lot bigger than I initially anticipated. The original Drift remotes were much smaller, and although I can see that this is probably a lot more comfortable, just because of the nice little concave over here, it'll fit on your wrist just a little bit better than the original ones. The original ones were just kind of straight and kind of a little bulky once you put the Velcro on it, and it stuck out a lot when you put it on your wrist. So this is actually an improvement overall, even though it's a little wider, and it's got a USB port here, probably to charge it, and most likely to charge it. The original remotes didn't have a rechargeable lithium battery in it, so once they go dead, you'd have to open it up and replace probably a very small lithium non-rechargeable battery. Okay, so what comes in this awesome little case? A second backing without the USB port and without the mic port. I'm going to take this out. I want to unscrew it from the back panel here. Comes right out. The mounts are essentially the same. They use the same threading as a regular camera. I want to unscrew this. The battery for the HD Ghost is actually different from the previous Drift models. It is wider, much wider. That's nice, right? And it's no longer spring-loaded, so when you open the latch, it actually doesn't push out, which is actually a good thing, because the original Drift models, the tab in the back could break, especially if you're talking about the HD 170s, and the tension on the battery is actually very unnecessary. I actually pulled it out of my old Drifts. So this is actually a much wider battery, which is why they boasted a nice longer battery life. This is the original Drift battery, and it's almost twice as thick. It's relatively the same length, but it's just about twice as thick. So it's got a better capacity. I believe the capacity on this is about 3 hours, and the original one is about 2 hours and some change. Now the extended battery. This is my Drift HD 170. The extended battery, I'd like to note over here. Let's pull this out. See how that spring loaded just pops out. This is the extended battery in comparison. It's relatively the same size, but yeah, these are more square, slightly wider even than the extended battery as well, you see? But just as wide. But these get you about 4 hours, so this is a little lacking for the same size. One of the major improvements of the HD Ghost is instead of being water resistant, it is actually waterproof up until I believe it's 9 meters, which is actually more deeper than realistically you'd be swimming. So yeah, it's good for like pools and stuff like that if you have to use it in a pool, to shoot paintballs in the pool or whatever. Major improvements also on the HD Ghost is supposedly the sound quality is much better on this. What I found on even the original Drift cameras is if you put the backing with the USB ports, like, and the mic port. If you use disc backing, the audio comes out a lot better because it can it just gives the sound more room to resonate throughout the camera instead of going around it. So using disc back allows the audio to hit the camera mic a little bit better. Also, one of the neat features that they were boasting is that this screen is actually Gorilla Glass, which is nice and hard glass, so that especially when you're playing paintball and you know, paintball is just smacking it, it makes it much better. I'm pretty sure, just looking at the lens clarity, it might just be because this HD is old, but the lens clarity on the Ghost is very clear. You can actually see the difference in person. You might not be able to see it on camera, but I'll wiggle it around, and you know, if you catch it, you catch it. If you don't, go buy one. It comes with the same mounts essentially, you know, but it's just organized much better. It comes with the adhesive mounts. Comes with your USB cable. Comes with this wristband strap and your clipping mount and your concave helmet mount. It doesn't have the concave adhesive mount, I noticed, but that's fine, whatever. Nobody really uses those because it's redundant. Let's put this aside, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to test the higher end of the recording spectrum on the HD Ghost and see how it does in slow-mo, because that's the biggest thing with higher frame rates, right? You want to see what your slow motion footage looks like, and we'll do it in comparison with the Drift HD. We'll run this at 720 and 60 frames per second, which is the maximum frame rate per second for this particular camera. I believe this one can go up to 180 frame rates or 140. I'm not really sure. Whatever, we'll figure it out later. I'll post it on the video. We're gonna do some shooting video, and we're going to slow down the footage at the same pace, and then see what that clarity on each video looks like, and we'll let you know. All right. All right, guys. We'll see you in the back at Armory. Cisco of Rocky PD Productions.
Alright guys, how's it going? So, we set up lovely targets there. I hope you guys enjoy us shooting it, because it's going to be fun actually shooting at them. It's a lovely artwork of myself. Not okay, but fine.
And we're coming back. We're going to do some chrono work. It turns off, huh, the screen?
Oh yeah, it turns off. So.
Good.
I'm not going to shoot at the target.
280, 285, 294. Okay, you're good.
Good to go?
Good to go.
Oh man. Should we be comparing this with the other one too?
Well, we'll film it separate.
Film it separate?
Yeah.
Alright. I mean, because we can hold it both at the same time. But
I guess we could.
yeah, might as well just do it at the same time.
Okay, Brian. Brian, can you hold this camera? We'll do a synchro clap.
Yeah, synchro clap. Yeah. That way we're shooting at... Because
they
look good now. I don't know what they're going to look like after.
Hold it right above your shoulder.
Because we don't know how it's going to look after they get shot out. They might not even... Yeah, it's off. But the red... It saves battery by turning off the LCD screen.
We have both cameras side by side, so we're going to shoot once, and we'll be able to see what the streams look like at its fastest recording speed. Now, the HD Ghost is shooting at VG, I believe, at 120 frames per second.
Yeah.
While the HD is shooting at 720 at 60. Later, after, we'll probably run Ghost at 720 at 60 frames, see which one comes out better as well. All right, let's just start it off.
We're just testing out our frames per second. All right, it's gonna be fun. All right, lovely target setup.
All right, let her rip.
Let it rip. Oh shit! They shot right through.
I'm laughing so the camera's shaking.
Shoot the dick off.
It's not coming off.
This is too much. Oh, there it goes. It fell off. Oh, you're angry. You're angry now. Let's go left hand.
Oh shit, it shot right through. I'm laughing so the camera's shaking. Shit the dick off. It's not coming off. This is too much. Oh, it goes. It fell off. Oh, you're angry. You're angry now. Let's go left hand. Cause
Actually, well, I'm out of ammo actually. I got one bullet. Refilling. His head fell. Oh no!
Oh, wind
The
took
wind.
its toll.
Took him out.
Alright, I'm gonna go left because I know I shoot dramatically faster on my left. I'm gonna go on the left side. Ready to unload?
Ready?
Willing and able because I want the trigger. And it died. What happened? Uh-oh.
Wonder whether or not there. After he posted the picture.
He's right not there.
Yeah. And then I took the picture to check. He's like, oh, what the hell?
Alright guys, changed out the hopper. Apparently
Hopper
First one.
issues.
having battery issues.
Alright.
Oh,
No,
1 second.
Stop recording.
No, it's still recording.
Ready?
Ready to go. It's a shitty paint.
Photoshop is really crappy.
Oh,
That came right out.
decapitated.
I love how I'm just aiming for the wall. And
Broke him. It's a shitty paint.
Photoshop is really crappy.
Oh,
That came right out.
decapitated.
I love how I'm just aiming for the wall. And
Broke him. Alright, you broke him. Alright guys, we're gonna go change the settings on these cameras and we will be right back. I gotta change the batteries as well. Hi guys, so we changed the settings on the camera for the HD Ghost to 720 60 frames per second, so they should match the Drift HD, and we're gonna run a pod or two through the rail, and we'll see what the footage looks like comparably.
Alright. Ready? Go. Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay, guys, so we turned it on, right? And if you notice, the screen here is actually moving because, you know, I'm filming myself filming. That's my iPhone 5. If you notice that Drift did come out with an app, and it's actually pretty good. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, it has a fractional second delay. It's noticeable, but it's not too bad. It works really well, and you can see very clearly. One of the neat features about this is you can actually offload the data from your HD Ghost into the device, so you can actually free up your memory, which is actually awesome. And on the app side, you can actually control your camera, which is awesome. You can also control the settings, change it from whatever frame rates per second or whatever resolution you want it on, which is also cool, you know. Other than that, wanted to show you guys the comparison with the Drift HD. Size-wise, in terms of length and width, it's exactly the same. Now, the lens on the HD Ghost looks to be a little bit bigger and clearer. That could be the use of new glass. Maybe this is just older, but I'm pretty sure they used a different type of glass. Hi guys, noticed the setting changed a little bit, but I wanted to do a final thoughts on the comparison between the Drift HD and the HD Ghost. Both cameras have a very similar or almost identical profile. So what comes into play when purchasing either one of these cameras is whether or not you actually own a Drift camera. So I mean, realistically, if you want to break into the Drift line, I would say definitely go for the HD Ghost, as it has everything the Drift HD has, and then some. Now, if you're looking to upgrade from your Drift HD to the HD Ghost, keep in mind that ideally, because the HD Ghost does not record at higher frame rates per second at high resolution, only at WVGA, it can get up to 120 frame rates per second. All the higher resolution, all the HD footage works at exactly the same FPS as the Drift HD. So keeping that in mind, realistically, I don't think that the HD Ghost warrants a $200 premium over the Drift HD, but that's just my opinion. Overall, as you can see, I'm actually filming this while I'm editing the footage. Personally, I would buy the HD Ghost, but probably not at the current price. I would definitely wait for a sale of some sort. Only because the upgrades on the HD Ghost are not far superior to the Drift HD, especially when considering you really aren't getting too much in terms of value. Only because while it does boast stronger battery life, it only adds about 1 hour to the battery life. Whereas if you own the Drift HD, chances are you have multiple batteries, and at the end of the day, you cannot use those batteries on your new camera. So you will have to buy more batteries if you end up getting the HD Ghost. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. Keep in mind that we also have an event coming up on the 26th at High Velocity out in Long Island, Coram, Long Island, I believe. And you know, I believe High Velocity is having admission-free day, so definitely keep a lookout for those videos right after the 26th, and we'll see you soon. They use Gorilla Glass for the screen, which makes it a lot stronger and clearer. That's key. It's stronger and clearer, so you can actually see your footage much better. Also, wanted to show you guys the size comparison of the batteries. Now, the Ghost Drift Innovation went with using a different battery for the Ghost, so you cannot use any. If you have previous drift cameras, you cannot use your old batteries on this one. They do boost a longer recording time, which is somewhere around 3 hours, I believe. And you'll notice that the battery isn't spring loaded anymore, which is actually a good thing in my opinion, because the spring actually broke a lot of the in the original HD 170s. They broke the little tab that kept the battery in, so I ended up actually pulling all those springs out. So it's a welcome change for me. This is the original battery that comes with the Drift HD and any of the HD 170s, which gives you roughly about 2 hours recording time. This gives you 3. It's almost twice as thick as the this battery, but in terms of length, it's exactly the same. But it is slightly wider. I wanted to give you a comparison with the extended battery that comes from Drift as well. These are roughly the same in terms of width, but the HD Ghost one is actually marginally wider. You see? Other than that, this gives you 4 hours, which is very interesting. This gives you 4 hours recording time. This only gives you 3. I'm not sure why this would have a lower battery life, but that could be because the HD Ghost actually has more capabilities. It's actually a stronger camera in general overall, so that might account for that as well. Other than that, wanted to show you guys the higher frame rates on the recording on the HD Ghost in comparison to the Drift HD. So we'll shoot this out shortly. All right.